Hey y'all, it's Alexis the Urban Gardener, and I wanted to show you all how I prevent pests in my grow bags. So, as some of y'all have seen in my previous reels and stories, I grow a lot of my brassicas, which are like the cabbage and the collards and broccoli and Brussels sprouts in my raised beds, but I also grow them in my grow bags in containers like you see here. So, in my grow bag alley, there's ways to prevent pests in your raised beds by using insect netting, right? So it's easy to do. Just cover them up with some insect netting so that the cabbage moths do not come down, which are attracted to brassicas and land on the brassica plants and lay their eggs, which in turn will produce cabbage worms that will eat your brassicas. So, what do you do about preventing that from happening in your grow bags? So, I will show you all how I do that by using companion planting with herbs. And this is just so that because it's harder to put insect netting over your grow bags and your containers, as you can see here. There's like different type of mechanisms like little cloches that you can place on top of them, but they can burn your plant. But there's other ways to prevent besides using insect netting. So I just wanted to show you all how I do that. So as you can see here, I'm growing some purple sprouting broccoli here in this container. I'm also growing some Brussels sprouts, and you'll see some cabbages as well in these containers and grow bags. And these containers are a bit small to have some type of insect netting over them. Now you can do it, but it'll be a little bit of a challenge, and it might be more effort than needed than the payoff, because it's a lot of material from the insect netting that you're using, along with the bars that they're gonna hold it to be able to protect this. So a way that I try to mitigate or prevent the pests from attacking my broccoli and my brassicas that are in these containers and grow bags is by using herbs, which give off a fragrance that is a very strong aroma that um, causes the cabbage moths from not wanting to land on these plants because it's such a strong scent that they do not like to be around. And then by doing that, that's one level of layer of protection, is by having these companion plants. So as you can see here, I have thyme that's planted all around, just surrounding it here, that's going to grow in. Um, and then I also have sage in my other grow bags as well. And that's going to also, produce a strong aroma and fragrance that's going to prevent the cabbage moths from landing on these plants here. The second layer of defense is to do some manual checking of the plants I'll say every few days, come out and look at your plants and see if there's any pest damage. And a way to be able to determine that is just by seeing any type of bites, chews, or bites on the plant, along with some cabbage. The worms will have some poop that they will have on the plant as well, and that's an indicator that you might have an issue with cabbage worms on your brassicas. And of course, as a gardener, you're going to have to get used to being able to touch bugs or be around bugs, and you'll have to manually pick those off of your plant in order to prevent any issues further down the line from your plants from being eaten up before you can actually enjoy them. Now, as you can see, like I mentioned, doing companion planting in my grow bags in order to prevent the cabbage worms and cabbage moths from attacking my plants. But also, I have this insect netting here in my raised beds, which is a lot easier to do on raised beds than it is to do on grow bags. But not to say that I'm just solely using netting on these raised beds. I also use companion planting as well as another layer of defense, in addition to manually checking my plants to make sure that there's no damage from any pests, and also removing them if I do see them. So these are just ways that, some gardeners are, okay with using pesticide as a mechanism of defense, preventing pests from, munching on your brassicas. But, others like myself, I try to take the pesticide free route. I'm not 100%. Sometimes if I do see something, it seems like it's a little bit further harder to mitigate than just removal of the bug or insect netting, then I might use occasional BT spray on my brassicas to remove any bugs by them ingesting the BT and then them dying and then them not reproducing. So that's another way of doing it, but just wanted to share with you all, like, there's ways to prevent pests naturally, organically in your garden, especially if you have a small garden and it's kind of harder to sit these insect nets on top of your grow bags. You can do it, like I mentioned, but there's just different ways of preventing it, in addition to the insect netting, and that's companion planting. So I hope this is helpful for you all as you all start your gardens and you're maintaining your gardens as spring is around the corner. It's nice out here in DC, and as the weather gets warm, the pests start to come out of hibernation. And so this is just going to help you to be able to prevent some of these different bugs or pests from attacking the plants that you can enjoy and grow to love. So, all right, stay tuned in the next episode, and happy gardening.